Alright guys, here we are today. Today I decided to play a new game. I think it's called D&D Dungeons or something. And so as you're reading on the screen, you can go back, look at it. Apparently I'm playing as a wizard. It's called Wizard Choice. Um, I don't know. Shoot, what is it called? So D&D Slayer, or D&D style. Then I say it. Um, Anyways, you are a young wizard seeking treasure and glory. You are walking along a path in the forest. One day's journey from Ring City, your beloved home. Night has just fallen, and you're thinking about how it might be a good idea to make a to find a campsite. After all, you're in goblin territory, and it's dangerous to travel in the dark. Suddenly, you smell something awful. Regnord, are you responsible for that outrageous smell? You ask the warrior, striding aside ahead of you. Pray no, I am always downwind from my companions when I sneeze the bellows, Ragnar answers. I realize that you have never encountered this stench before, and it is close, and perhaps it's your imagination. But is that muffled breathing you just heard? What do you do? Well, it says shout a warning to Ragnar. No, no, you know that, dude. Dive flat on your face, hide, stop, and listen. Well, if I'm in my choice, I'm gonna stop and listen. So, achievement unlock, a clever move. You're a tricky one. Point plus one, coin plus two. I mean plus one, luck plus one. It says two in total. Okay. No need to panic yet, you think. You grab Ragnar by the shoulder and gesture for him to be quiet. The two of you stand motionless for a few long seconds before you hear a low, wheezing sort of breathing. Ragnar must have heard it, too, because he raises his sword defensively. A series of snorts is followed by several goblins with green tinted skin charging out of hiding towards you. With an arcane word and a flourish of one hand, you send a bolt of fire into the leader of the charge, who drops to the ground, thrashing in flames. Ragnar hacks down another with his sword. The remaining three run away, swooping and yelping. Soon their cries are joined by others from the dark forest all around you. Many calls from far too many goblins to fight toe to toe. It is a hunting party tracking wild game, I wager. Human is a delicacy much better than mutton, Ragnar says. You regard the two dead goblins on the ground. Dead goblins are worth 10 gold pieces per head in the city. Luckily, you don't need to carry their heads around. The city authorities will accept their left ears. What do you do? Okay, so if it says, mm, I believe running is probably the best thing, because if we try to cut off their ears, we're gonna have like a bunch of people. So just run. The forest is crawling with goblins. It is time to flee, you shout, and the two of you run into the forest in a direction from which you do not yet hear their cries. What now? Ragnar asks, panting after you have run for a stretch. Certainly there are excellent places to hide in the forest if we can just survive until morning. Exactly. The goblins may have hunting dogs or even wolves. Their own sense of smell is keen, you say. We might climb a tree then. That would at least be defensible, Ragnar suggests. You wish to be treated like a fox with goblins barking underneath? If you wish a position that is both defensible and allows some freedom of movement, we should hasten to Castle Inverness. It is near, and we could fortify ourselves behind those walls, Ragnar says. You frown. It is a fortress. Yes, but inhabited by what? Gods know what manner of creatures may have taken up residence in that ruin over the years. I'm gonna hide in the forest. I know it would probably be smart to go garrison in the ruins, but I feel like there would be more, maybe because like I've seen Goblin Slayer, so I know that ruins can be a great place where they're actually hiding at, so maybe that could be where they held it up. So we're gonna hide in the forest. Hunting parties or not, the goblins will have their work cut out for them finding you in this dense forest. If you can just hold out until morning, those little sun-hating beasts will be driven back to their holes. You know this region well enough to be certain there are no rivers nearby, but Ragnar hopes to find at least a stream for the two of you to wade through to destroy your scent trail. Unfortunately, you cannot find one. Even after hours of running through the forest, you are exhausted. Meanwhile, the howls of your pursuers become even louder. At this point, you have found another trail and have decided to use it for speed, hoping your long legs can at least give you some distance from the smaller goblins. The two of you dash up to a fork in the road. The path to the right is apparently seldom used since it is nearly overgrown. That it leads to the castle ruins. The path to the left is clear, and you think you can see firelight down that way. Could this fire belong to the goblins, or if you're lucky, it is the campfire of another friendly adventurer? What do you do? Investigate fire. I'm an adventurer, damn it. Boldly you step forward, never a wuss. Points 1 plus 1 coins plus bet. So it turns out the fire does belong to God. Damn it. What did you expect? You're in goblin country after all. You come up to a clearing with two goblins staring hungrily at a rack of mutton sizzling over a fire. Apparently those guys are more keen on guarding their next meat than joining the rest of the hunting party. Before you can decide whether to turn back or kill them, one of them spots you and screams out. Ragnar shoots this one with his bow while the other runs off. What a cowardly lot they are. You run back to the fork in the road and heads towards the castle. On the way, you hear a whistle in your ear, then another, and then feel a sting just above your hip. They do have bows. The wound isn't bad. It's a small arrow shot by a weakling, no doubt. You pull it out without losing stride. After a minute of stumbling down what is best described as a game trail, you see the shadowy husk of the ruins in the moonlight ahead. Unfortunately, the battle cries of your pursuers are closer than ever, and when you look back over your shoulders, you see glowing eyes. The two of you turn on a boost of speed, and soon the castle looms before you. It is about 10 feet tall and crumbling. You realize with horror that there are no holes on this side, that are large enough to fit through. Meanwhile, Ragnar, a faster runner than yourself, has disappeared around the north corner of the wall. Oh no. A short spill whizzes past your head. You look back and see at least 4 of the little beasts. What do you do? Look, man, there's 4 of them, and they said there's dogs behind them, so your boy jumping the wall. You stay your course towards the wall, and with an arcane word, you leap into the air. Up, up you go, like a giant grasshopper, over the wall. You made it, but now you're falling down into the castle courtyard. You hit the ground hard, but you roll with it. Fortunately, the neglected courtyard glass is nearly as tall as you and acts as a cushion. There's a ladder nearby that you climb to get up to the battlements. Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was thinking, well, higher ground, like Fortnite, if you know. There are 4 goblins at the base of the wall, chattering angrily. One of them begins climbing up the rotten rock. You decided this is a good place to take a stand. There is a lot of loose rocks at the top of the wall. You're not particularly strong thanks to your inactive life as a wizard. Hey, just because I don't lift weights doesn't mean I'm inactive. You see me run that whole long stride, boy. However, you expected you could push a few large rocks down upon this climber. On the other hand, they are all out in the open, and your spells will certainly be effective now. What do you do? Well, fry them all. Just fry the climber. Well, then they'll know I'm up there. If I fry them all, there's going to be a bunch of magic and itself. So if I push down on the climber, they'll know. So I'm going to have to burn them all. Crushing move. You dominated. Bet. Alright, points +2, 4 total. Coins +2, 4 total. Plus. You lean down and call forth the magical power within you. From your outstretched fingers erupt a jet of flame that you play first over the climber, and then blow the others standing below. They barely have time to scream before they are no more. then 4 smoldering corpses on the ground. A fine mess you made of them, Ragnar's voice shudders you. He now stands beside you, grinning down on the carnage. He must have found another way in. I lost goblins, you say. As do all good men. You have struck terror into their advancing party, but they will call for reinforcements. We have the wall. Can we hold it? Ragnar says. We could go in. You point to the castle keep behind the courtyard. The castle is 3 stories tall, or at least it had been, before the top layer partially collapsed. The second story is barely any better. The fortress is as lifeless and still as a painting. Nevertheless, you wonder if anyone is looking back at you from the black, dark windows and arrow slits of the ruin. See, I told you I don't want to go in there because I feel like that's where all the goblins are going to be at. I've already used up my mana. I have 4 more. I have 0 gold, though. I don't know why it says, oh, you got gold, but you don't. So, I'm going to prepare a wall defense. Guys know what's in that castle. Let us fight only one enemy at a time, you say. Yeah, exactly. Like, why am I going to go in that castle? I don't know what's in that castle, and I'm not trying to fight. I just got out of a fight. Soon the forest around you is dotted with glowing sets of eyes. It is difficult to count them as they appear and disappear behind the trees, but you guess 20 of them. Sure, they will attack from all sides at once, said Ragnar, and they can see at night, which we can, in the day. You consider the long, dry grass of the courtyard below. With some lamp oil, you can start a fine brush fire down there. The light of it could perhaps even the odds on these nocturnal creatures. You could even cast a spell upon the fire to create a blinding flash, but you're not sure you want to leave the wall to carry out such an unconventional plan. They may attack while you are away, leaving only Ragnar to defend the walls. You wonder how long the goblins will take to muster their force. As you hear a battle cry, high-pitched, furious, and seemingly on the edge of panic, it erupts from the forest as a tide of little green evil eyes surge forward. What do you do? Well, I'm going to set the courtyard on fire to give us some more time. I'm not going to blast them because I'm not trying to blast through all my magicka. We could run for the castle, but like I said, I don't know what's in the castle and I don't want to go in there. So I'm going to set the courtyard on fire. Without a moment to lose, you jump down into the courtyard, empty a flask of oil onto the dry grass, and light it. The fire spreads rapidly. You ascend a ladder against the wall to rejoin Ragnar. Gods help us, they come from all sides, you shout. Ragnar does not answer as he works his bow. Thump, thump, goes the string. Soon several of the goblins has scaled the far wall. 2 have dropped down into the courtyard while another charges upon the reckoning battlements, walking towards you. Others falls, then still more from the east and still walls. You can see them clearly thanks to the courtyard brush fire. You dare not wait any longer. You shout and then let loose the spell. Crack. You see bright pink behind your slit eyes. The fire has brilliant flash. A brief pulse brightens them full day. You wait a second. It will take that long for the flare to die down. Damn. A second? Now the little monsters are shielding their glowing eyes and screaming. One of them stumbles alongside off the battlement. Kill them all and be quick about it. They will not be blind for long, you shout, as you reach into the folders of your robe and pull out a dagger. Ragnar slings his bow and unsheathes his long swords. The goblins still standing are now wavering their short swords and spears blindly in front of them. Ragnar effortlessly bats these weapons aside with his long sword, with a single mighty cleave per creature. He cuts the goblins down one after the other. For you, using a blade to dispatch foes is demeaning and dangerous. Blind or not, those vicious little monsters will slash and bite for their lives. Nevertheless, a long knife requires no mana, so you quickly get to work. You jump down into the courthouse where you have more room to maneuver. Your arm behind each goblin thrust and your dagger immediately spring back before your victim has a chance to swing at you. You smile to yourself. You're really on a roll. God, I hate goblins, you think. Just as you consider singing a song to better mock your blinding horror, the little beasts come. A lot more. They scatter over the walls like cockroaches. Ugh. To the castle, that was my next. You gotta go to the castle. I mean, there's no point now. I've done already try to prolong my inedible ability. See, I can already see how this is gonna go. I'm gonna get stuck up in the top of the castle and I'm gonna die. To the castle you shout. Once across the courtyard, you open the large wooden double doors, which shriek on rusted hinges. Inside, Ragnar slams and bars the door. The entrance chamber is large with a high vaulted ceiling. The stone walls are cracked and flaking. The ground is strewn with loose rubble. The air is stale. Aside from the double doors beside you, there are closed wooden doors on the north, east, and west walls near the north door. There is a stairway going up, but it is blocked by rubble. It is not long before the front door begins to rattle violently. Through a nearby arrow slit, you can see glowing eyes and the glint of axes chopping away at the door. You're not sure how long the barreled portal will hold them. Ragnar wants to hide deeper in the castle. On the other hand, this place smells of death. It might be to take a few seconds to investigate the room. So, we are going to have to... I want to stay in this room as long as possible. I want to be pushed back. I want to try to fight. So, search the room and doors. You motioned to Ragnar to check the east door. You inspect the ground and see there have been traffic through here. Some of the tracks on the dusty floor appear to be human-sized shoes or boots. Others appear to be from bare feet, far too large to be from man. None of the tracks appear to belong to none. Listen, you can't hear anything or the goblins thumping and screaming outside. You direct the light of your lantern at the north door. Yeah, I'm still here. Alright. And are about to turn towards the eastern door when something catches your attention. What's that, an eye, you wonder? You think you caught a glimpse of a glistering eyeball through a rotting hole in the northern door. Casually, as though just taking another look around, you sweep your light over the door again, passing for just an instant at the spot. Yes, that was an eye. You're being watched, and although your glimpse was fleeting, you could tell the eye did not belong to a human. The white of the orb is pink with blood, while... Oh my god. Pitch black and large. You would like to get a better look at the creature. There is a minor spell you normally use to magically open doors from a distance. You find it tediously open doors yourself. As long as the door is unlocked, you could use this lazy wizard spells to open the eye door without being too close. On the other hand, that might remember that eye belongs to. Perhaps you could just talk to it. Maybe you can join forces against the goblin. Alternatively, you might be able to hurl a bolt of fire through that eye hole. Not an easy shot, but you have the elements of surprise. Fine, there's the running option. An option that has been keeping wizards alive for thousands of years. What do you do? Well, if he does, well, I'm going to talk to the creature, because either way, he's either going to come out or he's not. So let's talk to the creature. And if we can't, we'll just run up the stairs, or we'll run through one of the doors. Diplomat. Just talking can often get you what you want. Language, even a greater invention than fire. Alright, bet. You muster your courage, face the door, and raise your voice to be heard over the pounding and shouting of the goblin. We mean you no harm. We wish only to crack the door. The blows open. The light of your lantern steams into the doorway to reveal a huge muscular monster. Staring over. He holds a massive spiked club in one hand and a melon-sized rock in the other. He steps into the room. Neville's tongue is an oar. Damn it! Greetings, you say, mustering your most cheerful smile. The younger goblins are disrespecting your property. Let us join forces against them. Just then, the fourth door of the castle bursts open like a tidal wave crushing on a beach. A heap of goblins fall into the room, creatures one on top of another. A curse of glee erupts from their fingered mouth. The orc hurls his stone straight at you. You duck and hear a squishing thud behind you. Well, your diplomacy may not have exactly worked, but now there might be an opportunity. Time to let the ogre and goblins become acquainted with you. Awesome! Ragnar and you nearly collide in your haste through the eastern portal. Once through, you slam the door closed. From the entrance chamber, you just left some goblins' yelps of triumph, which then turns into screams of terror that are immediately drowned out by an earth-shaking snarl. Next is the sharp slapping of flesh against flesh and the wet sound of bodies ripping apart. You run from one room to the next. The ogre is not much of a housekeeper. The castle is full of giant cobwebs and broken furniture. Finally, you enter a large room, a dining room, as evidenced by a large wooden table and 2 fireplaces. You motion Ragnar to stop, and you both listen. Faintly, you can hear the far-off sounds of battles from behind you. Can't leave that way, you think. Just then, you hear something else. Labored breathing, and is that crying? I'm gonna investigate the sound. Investigate the sound. For glory in the loot, you think to yourself as you take the. Oh my god, I'm about to die. You quietly realize that the sound seems to be coming from the very room you creeped over to the other end of the dining hall, and see a young woman sitting on the ground, chained to a fireplace, rocking back and forth and sobbing. Her cries break off as she looks up at you with an expression of fear that quickly turns to surprise. Who are you? She asks. You tell her okay. Why are you crying? And then you go, who are you? Like you can't just help me. She asks. So now I'm gonna be weary of her. You tell her your name and that you are. Hold on. Let's see how long this has been going for. Oh, there it is, DG. I don't even know. It doesn't even tell me. Alright, I'm just gonna do it until I'm out of here. Who are you? She asks. You tell her your name and that you are here to smite evil while making your fortunes. This brings a smile to her face. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and stop right here because I don't know how long the video is and it's not telling me. So, yeah.